Beautiful. All right, well, let's go. Go ahead and hit record.
I already did. Do you not see? Do you not see?
I see. I know. I hit record. I'm sorry, kiddo. He's the assistant engineer, so he's supposed to hit record.
Oh, he's learning young. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then if he's without me, well...
I say the same thing. I'm like, son, I am so effed without you on this show.
Yeah, he's lonely, so...
You know, and the younger they are, the cheaper they are, the more willing they are.
That's it. Like, it's free interns for the rest of your life now.
Exactly. All right, well, before that conversation gets too dark and we start talking about the church. All right, sweet.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. On my right-hand side is my right-hand man, Gabriel. And
I like the big goofy and go to Gucci.
Gucci. And that sample you just heard was I'm So Effed Without You by Sick Love, who I've got on the show with me right now. I've got a new EP called Baby It's You, which was released on May 22nd. Right now I'm being joined by Rebecca and Connor to share some stories about the music and share more info about what they've got going on. So guys, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks so much for having us on.
Absolutely great to have you guys on. I absolutely dig this stuff when John sent it over to me. So big shout out to John over at Jaw Dropper.
Yes, John is the man. He is the man of the hour.
Beautiful. All right, John, you get 1 hour. Spend it wisely.
Just one.
Now, speaking of things that John does for us, let's go listen back to that track. I'm So Effed Without You.
I'm so effed without you. Then the Gucci.
All right, coming back from the track, I'm So Effed Without You, which is a significantly more aggressive song title. And so I guess take us through this. Is this about a relationship breakup? Is it about trying to prevent a relationship breakup? Is this what Connor says to himself in the mirror every day? What?
Well, the song, it's kind of about, it's about relationship. And it's kind of about, I suppose, like, everyone goes through hard times in relationships and everyone, like, it's a roller coaster all the time. You have highs and lows, but it's kind of like a plea in that kind of low time being like, listen, you need me, I need you. Let's pull through it kind of thing. Like, I'm effed without you. So it's kind of, yeah, it was written at a kind of one of those kind of like low times where it was like, I need you. And like, you know, that we can get through anything. It's that kind of a song. Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
yeah. Heavy.
It is heavy. Well, I mean, especially when you've gone to the lengths of choosing to actually name the track that I am so, and it's not just like effed without you, like I'm saying it because I've got a 5-year-old next to me, but it's actually right there in front of your face. So it's like, there's so much aggression that the song then portrays before I even hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like, I don't know, it can be applied to anyone, but like personally, like in my life, I was at like a point where I was really just angry at a lot of things, just in life. I'm just kind of going through like a weird time. And sometimes, like, even if you don't want it to, like, even if you think your struggles are just your own, like that spills into your relationships with people, you know? Like if you're feeling bad and you're feeling in a bad way, it does affect the people around you. So it was kind of at that time where I was like, okay, I know I've been a handful and I know that I've been going through like this really rough time, but it doesn't mean that it's you. Like I need you, you know? So it was coming from that kind of a place.
Yeah, from strength, not saying, I don't know, in a negative way that I need you, but in a kind of like, hey man, we're in this together.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm speculating then that out of this, what was, I'm sure at one point a sick love and where you realized you needed somebody so bad, that it's since gone up from there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think like, especially like, I think for like songwriting, it's so cathartic. I think like that was almost like, okay, I've gotten over this hump now. I've talked about it. I've sang about it. And it's like, it's such a release, like of anything that you're going through. I feel like songwriting is such a release for that. Like it's such a good therapy, like free therapy, you know?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Just thinking about the vulnerability of putting yourself out there, like, hey, this is how I feel in this moment, and I'm about to broadcast that. And I mean, I guess that's an interesting thing. After you go through the situation, you do this cathartic thing. Do you then have, I don't know what's what I'm looking for, the chutzpah or something to then stand up on stage and go, wow, I'm about to put my heart out there?
I think like the first time maybe, but for some reason, like, I think like once I've done it, I'm like, oh, it's cool. It's like nobody's gonna read into what I'm saying. Like no one's ever gonna think about what I'm actually saying. But then you're like, oh yeah, people actually do listen to what you're saying. So I guess I don't really think about it that much. But I think definitely it's always the first time. I think that's with any song. Like the first time you're gonna play a song, you're like, okay, like I'm putting myself out there. We're like really putting ourselves on the line here. I think that's like with any song, but certainly like for those more emotional ones as well, definitely.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's go listen to the next track, Bad Girl.
Bad girl.
All right, come back from the track Bad Girl. And is this you, Rebecca?
I mean, I try to be in all aspects of my life, you know, as much as I can.
Perfect.
So you're gonna try and be the bad girl.
Oh, I'm always trying.
Always.
I don't always succeed.
All right. Well,
I would Gucci if you were trying to be the bad girl.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, I guess it couldn't have been Bad Boy because I guess take us through the track. How come it couldn't have been Bad Boy, or could it have been Bad Boy?
Well, there is a bad boy in the song. It's kind of the meeting of the bad boy and the bad girl. Like the first line of the song is, "Why you looking over from the bar like you're James Dean?" So it's this guy. He basically thinks he's all that, and thinks he runs the world or whatever. Thinks he can get any girl in the room. So he's kind of a man about town, and the bad girl is here to tell him, like, you know what? You haven't met your match just yet. It's me. So it's not really a serious song. It's a fun song.
Yeah. I dig that line, though. Why are you looking over the bar like you're James Dean? And I guess there's an astounding difference in the female mind between a guy who actually is James Dean and a guy who thinks he's James Dean.
Yeah, it's very transparent.
Wow. I like how I could hear Connor in the background going, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, I'm just like, whoa.
Universe shift right there. Cool. Well, then I guess take us through for a quick second what, goes into a real James Dean versus an imposter.
What does? I think it's the effort. Like if you look like you're making an effort, you're not doing it right. If it looks like he's not trying at all and he just has this air about him, then he's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a fun song. I mean, like it's a dancey song. She's kind of putting it up to him as well. She's like, I might kind of have a bit of interest in you, but like, don't go around thinking that like we're not on the same page, that I'm not the female James Dean over here or anything.
Jamesina Dean.
Yeah.
Jamesina Dean.
Beautiful. The funny thing is, one of my notes on the track, you mentioned it's a fun, dancey track, and one of the things that struck me about your guys' sound in general, at least on this EP, and then with this song in particular, was I wrote Veruca Salt meets Blondie.
I love that.
That's great.
Oh my god. Well, we're big Blondie fans anyway. Like that's no question.
Yeah, I think with Bad Girl as well, like there's a bit in it that we actually, I think it's like modeled off Dancing with the Devil. So
okay, I can see that. Yeah,
there was a part like when we were writing the music, we were like, we should make it like you're dancing with the devil, and I think that's kind of cool because it ended up being like that whole vibe for the whole EP.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Now, speaking of the EP, so if you love your tracks, I'm So F Without You and Bad Girl, then you'll be excited to know that there's an EP called Baby It's You, which released on May 22nd. And something that you mentioned there, Connor, was the decision as to essentially what would become the EP. So I guess take us through that. When you guys sat down to compile the work that became Baby It's You, what went into crafting what we're now holding?
Well, I think it didn't really start out intentionally. It kind of happened like as a happy accident. Like we we liked all these songs, like we were writing all these songs, and I think they were kind of like in the back of our mind, like maybe these could be album contenders, or, you know, they could go on something at some point because they're really good songs. But then we were kind of listening to all of them and we're like, okay, actually, for whatever reason, these songs all kind of have a bit of a similar theme. Like it's all about relationships and love and passion and everything, and they just kind of like fit really well together. So we were like, yeah, let's make it an EP. Like, let's put these in a collection. Like, we hadn't really intended it, but it worked out really well together. So we just said, like, yeah, let's make this a little collection, you know?
Yeah, very cool. Now then, I guess, should we be expecting some more surprises to come down the line?
Oh yeah, there's some surprises.
We're always brainstorming.
We've been kind of working for the last year, but definitely like heavily the last 6 months or so on what will be the debut album. So that's kind of the main focus at the moment, especially during lockdown now. That's given us a lot of time to work on all that. Yeah.
All right. Now, I guess my next question is, we have, from what I have in front of me, the EP, we've listened to half of the EP here. Is that correct?
Yeah. And then there's 2 other songs in as well.
Cool. So my basic question then, I guess, is, have we listened to the EP, or what should we expect from the other half of the EP?
Well, I suppose, as I said, it wasn't intentional, but when we put the EP together, we realized that it was kind of like a journey from start to finish. So it is kind of like, it's like I was talking about before, like the highs and the lows of relationships and love and everything like that. So it kind of has a little bit of a journey going on from start to finish in it. The songs, like, they're all kind of on that same theme, but they're very unique in their own way. And yeah, I think there's a lot more for you to hear from what's there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially from a production standpoint, I can hear that you guys took a bit of time to dress these tracks up in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, most of it was recorded by myself in our rehearsal room over some time, and we kind of just like sometimes we made the effort to like sit down and record the songs, and then sometimes, like, there's a song, My Man, that has nearly like we just kind of did guide vocals and guide guitars for that song and just rough tracks, and then they ended up making the final cut. So it was kind of like a bit of everything, and we did think about it a lot, but then again we didn't really either.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the magic of it happened just because we weren't in it. Like, we love being in the studio and we love the whole studio experience, but I think because we were in our own space and we were kind of like playing with it, you know, just having fun with it, it kind of added to it in a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's countless stories of demo tracks or things on the demo track making it to the final record, and it's like, well, if the performance is good and the sound is good, why that's the whole point of recording in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, as you mentioned, with quarantine, you guys are working on some stuff. So I guess my next question is, you know, with the next few summer months coming up that are going to be untraditionally quiet for the music industry, is there any news in particular that you wanted to share that I didn't bring up?
Just go listen to the EP. Like, that's what we're really excited about right now. I mean, yeah, the future is very unpredictable. We were, you know, supposed to be on tour during the summer, and that's, you know, kind of put on hold. But for the time being, just go enjoy the music. We're working in the background on more to come and everything. But yeah, just enjoy the music that we have out there for now.
Perfect. All right. Well, then, gang, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.